Hi, my topic is economic problem India facing today. India is the second most powerful state, cultural motherland, soft power, land of miracles, superpower in space technology, sustainable GDP growth rate, and emerging economy. Though this may not be enough to define India, this flashes in my mind when I now think of the nation. When world markets are in unstable position, vibrant changes in political scenario, and the big brother showing signs of deglobalization, world market sees India as an investment destiny, which now stands as a sweet spot of a stable political and positive economic situation. By 2025, the Indian economy is projected to be about 60% of the size of the US economy. As India prepares herself to become an economic superpower, we must check on what's holding up India's vibrant growth and measures that has to be taken for a accelerated and sustainable development. To start with, overpopulation, there are complex problems involving labor laws, inflation, corruptions, unemployment, infrastructure to name few. Of all, in my opinion, India's poor infrastructure is major roadblock that is holding it from achieving the sustainable growth. If the problem of the infrastructure is dealt properly, it can clear the way to many issues. Growth theories argue that both poor and social infrastructure and physical infrastructure can constrain growth. Social infrastructure such as education and health is essential to promote the better utilization of HR and physical infrastructure, thereby improving the economic and growth quality of life. Education. India has vast population of younger people. Even after more than 6 decades of independence, large population of our youngsters lack productive skills because of ill-planned education curriculum, which actually reduces the rate of economic growth because of lack of enough sufficient skilled workers in many areas, which reduces our international competitiveness. Thus, India requires strong educational infrastructure to keep pace with the growing economy and provide quality skilled people. On this backdrop, Government of India has unveiled RTI 2010 to provide free compulsory education to children from 6 to 14 years. Though quality of education has been improved with respect to the attendance and enrollment, but quality of skill improvement has taken backseat. With need of improvement of quality and nurturing the young Indian industry required skill set, the government should collaborate with the industry to design the curriculum that would match the industrial requirement, which would be a win-win situation. Health. Despite some improvements over the last decade, India's healthcare infrastructure is awfully inadequate and has not kept pace with the country's requirement. While India has several centers of excellence in healthcare delivery, they are limited to few pockets and are not accessible to the poor, needy Bharatwasi. Government of India is spending less than 2% GDP in health sector and may behind private sector spending. MMR, IMR are way high in India, still lags behind Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, women health delivery institution. Though growing with huge focus, but more penetration is required. Lack of beds, insufficient infra at physical health centers, negligence of doctors are seen as challenges at the health sector faces as because of low spending on sectors overcoming. Government should aim to increase public expenditure on health up to 2 to 3% of the GDP in par with many developing nations. Institutional reforms to improve the effectiveness of service delivery are needed. According to the High Committee report on Public Health of India by Dr. Srinath Committee, it is said that due to improper infrastructure, there are health issues getting complicated and advise government to give proper attention to primary health centers. Physical infrastructure. For India to maintain the growth momentum, it is essential to strengthen infrastructure facilities such as transportation, energy, communication, power, and agricultural technology. India's infrastructure is not, in most cases, is poor quality by world standards. In fact, India's high rate of economic growth will be difficult to sustain if infrastructure development does not increases and pace with the demand. Instead, comparing with the developed nation, let's make comparison with China, which started off its development almost at the same time as India, if not a few years ahead. But India stands nowhere near China in express highway length. China, 12,3500 kilometers, and India, 1324 kilometers, which are necessary for the transportation. There is a poor last mile connectivity. India Railway is running poor in terms of speed and quality. With 1,21,000 kilometers, China stands way above Indian railway network of 65,800 kilometers, and freight corridor for India is a dream. The air and water transport, India fares very poorly, wherein inland transport is just dream. These many structural defects, it would be hard for India to compete the world in the world class. Though the government has come up to connect the road till last mile by 2022 under PMSY and with the freight corridors planned like Golden Quadrilateral, West Industrial Quadrilateral, East Industrial Corridor, India stands to pose for development in connectivity even regarding in land transport. India government has taken up Sagarmala to connect the nation with inland waterways. A conclusion: if proper effort is made in expanding education, health facilities, and physical infrastructure, and improving their quality by increasing budget allocation and improving governance, it will go a long way in reducing poverty, improving human development, and sustaining high rates of economic growth in India, which brightens India on world map. Thank you.